Colorado High School Activities Association Baseball is on B106 and B106.com. Tonight, from Eddie Underwood Field in Fort Morgan, it's the Colorado 7 League opener for the Fort Morgan Mustangs as they take on the Weld Central Rebels. I'm John Beltran on a night that the temperatures will dip into perhaps the upper 30s as this game is starting about 2 hours and about 20 minutes later than scheduled from yesterday. It was supposed to be a 4 o'clock game, but they had to move back the junior varsity game till today at 4 o'clock. So this one is going to be about a 6:21, 6:22 start here from Eddie Underwood Field. Now keep in mind that the Mustangs go into this game with a 2-4 record, but they have won 2 of their last 3 games. As over the weekend in La Junta, the Mustangs were winners over Trinidad and Buena Vista before losing 5-4 to Frederick. So they're 2-4 on the year, winners of 2 of their last 3. And as for Weld Central, 1-1. They lost to Meade 15-0. And then on Monday, won their Colorado 7 League opener, defeating Fort Lupton by a score of 9-4. Let's get to the starting lineup. By the way, we can tell you that you can follow us at KSIRsports.com, KSIRsports.com, and click on the link for today's game. And you can follow us pitch by pitch in case you're listening now and then sometime later are unable to listen, but you can certainly follow it online at KSIRsports.com. All right, so the Mustangs about to take the field under head coach Josh Langford, dressed in their home whites, and Weld Central in their road reds with the white pants, coached by Leslie Tapia. And let's get to the starting lineup for the Weld Central Rebels. And batting first for the Rebels is going to be the second baseman, Giovanni Garfio Portillo. Hitting second, the left fielder, Brian Gutka. Dalton Wilkinson, the first baseman, hits third. Alan Lang, the shortstop, is in a cleanup position. Center fielder, Brandon Blackston, will hit fifth. The pitcher, Tanner Jackson, bats sixth. Hitting seventh is the third baseman, Alex Reese. Catcher, Matt Sims, hits eighth. And Reese Metler, the right fielder, bats ninth. For the Mustangs defensively, at first base is Wes Anderson. At second is Reyes Rodriguez. The third baseman, Austin Cosman. Over at short is Tony Wedzig. Around the outfield is James Blackston, and left the center fielder is Kyle Daniels, and right is Juan Aguilar. Behind the plate is Joey Schneider, and the senior right-hander Jared Bohm is on the mound for the Mustangs. Opening pitch brought to you by Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance with 2 locations in Brush and Fort Morgan. Ingmeyer Phillips can help you with your home, car, health, or life insurance questions or needs. Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance. As the Mustangs are looking for their first home win of the year as well. They're 0-3 here at Eddie Underwood Field. And this will be a predominantly right-handed hitting lineup for Weld Central. The sun is out, the lights are on. We'll probably have about 45 minutes, if even that, of daylight for this particular game. So Jared Bohm will deliver the opening pitch to the right-handed hitting second baseman, Giovanni Garfio Portillo. This will be the first of 2 meetings against Weld Central over a 3-day span. These teams will play on Friday in Keensburg, 4 o'clock right here on B106, as well as B106.com. You can follow us on Twitter at B106 and Facebook at B106 as well for scoring updates of this game and all the Mustang baseball games on the B. So Garfio Portillo steps in. And Jared Bohm delivers the opening pitch of this game, a fastball for a strike on the inner half at the knees. It's 0-1. Hitting with an open stance is Garfio Portillo, the offering. Curveball is grounded on the right side of the second baseman, Rodriguez. He's got it. Sidearms to first. And there's one down on just 2 pitches in the top of the first inning. That'll bring up Brian Gutka. Might be Gutka as well. Another right-handed hitter for Weld Central. Mustangs are looking for some quick innings. They haven't really had that this year. Wind and pitch. Fastball grounded on the right side. Anderson to his right has got it. He'll run to the bag and easily beat Gutka. And on 3 pitches. 2 down here. That'll send up the third place hitter, the left-handed hitting Dalton Wilkinson. Schneider lays down the sign. And the offering. Fastball is over for a ball apparently a little bit too low to the tall left-handed hitter. 1 ball and no strikes. And the pitch. The breaking ball is swung on and tapped foul behind the plate. The count is level at 1 ball and 1 strike. Stop, shop, and save on all your grocery needs and snacks for game time enjoyment. The Brush Grocery Card, 1302 West Edison Street in Brush. You can also pay your public service bill and access Western Union. The pitch. Low and away. Took something off at ball 2, strike 1, with 2 down in the top of the first inning. Here's the wind and offering. And that fastball's in there for a strike on the outer half. And the count levels at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Dalton Wilkinson. Bohm with a sign. Bohm with a pitch. Breaking ball is fouled off to the left. And the count remains at 2-2. Wind and pitch. Up and away. Ball 3, strike 2. To the left-handed hitter. The offering. Swing! And a miss and a fastball at the letters. 1-2-3 for Jared Bohm in the opening frame. We head to the bottom of the first. Weld Central nothing. And the Mustangs are coming to bat on B106 and B106.com. Let's head to the bottom of the first inning. Here's the Mustang starting lineup brought to you by Blowdorn Lumber at blowdornlumber.com. You can browse the virtual showroom, view the current sales, complete a credit application, and shop the entire inventory online. Whether you're a contractor or painting your living room at Blowdorn Lumber, you'll get the same friendly service and advice to make your job easier. Visit Blowdorn Lumber in Fort Morgan at 130 State Street. So the Mustangs go with this lineup. Batting first is the center fielder Kyle Daniels. The third baseman Austin Cosman hits second. Wes Anderson at first bats third. The pitcher is Jared Bohm. He's in the cleanup position. Reyes Rodriguez, the second baseman, hits fifth. Shortstop Tony Zwedzig bats sixth. James Blackston in left hits seventh. The DH is Chris Anderson, and Joey Schneider, the catcher, hits ninth. Dalton Wilkinson at first. Giovanni Garfio Portillo at second for Weld Central. Shortstop is Alan Lang. Alex Rees at third. As the pitcher Tanner Jackson delivers. And that changeup is low and away. The left fielder is Brian Gutka. Brandon Blackston in center. Reese Metler in right. And Matt Sims behind the plate. 1 ball and no strikes. And the offering. And that is up and away. Took something off of that. 2 balls and no strikes. To the left-hander Kyle Daniels. The pitch. Swung on and grounded on the left side. Deep in the hole, and long throw for the shortstop Lang, and that's late. And Daniels, with his speed, beats it out. Just a routine grounder, but it was in the hole, and Daniels got down the line. That'll bring up Austin Cosman, the big, strong right-handed hitter, a junior for Fort Morgan. Let's see if Jackson is going to have trouble there with Daniels at first base, because Daniels can fly. He's got a 2-step lead. And the pitch. And the fastball is down and in. Off the glove of Sims, but just to his left. 1 ball, no strikes. Jared Bohm was able to nail down the first 3 hitters in order. State Farm Insurance at Greg Mullen and Brush can help you find the best policy to fit your life. Let the State Farm Insurance office of Greg Mullen help you find the best policy, home, auto, life, and health. 842-4555. Jackson, the right-hander, delivers. And the fastball is up and in. 2 balls and no strikes. Mustangs hit the ball well over the weekend in La Junta, winning 2 of those 3 games and losing a close one to Frederick. The pitch, the short arm is bounced in, blocked by Sims. And we're sensing early trouble here for Weld Central. The pitch. Changeup is inside, and Cosman walks on 4 pitches. The Mustangs have first and second with Wes Anderson getting ready to hit. The big left-handed hitter for Fort Morgan with an opportunity already. The pitch squaring to bunt, lays it up the third base side, fielded by Jackson, throws to first in time. But that sacrifice is successful, 1-3. Advancing the runners. And there is 1 down for Jared Bohm. Outstanding play there by Wes Anderson with that bunt in the perfect spot. Bohm looking to help his own cause. The stretch by Jackson. The pitch swung on and driven into deep right field. That ball is way back there towards the track, and it's over the head of the right fielder. 2 runs are going to score as rounding third is Daniels. He's followed over there by Austin Cosman. It's a stand-up triple, a 2-run triple for Jared Bohm. And the Mustangs with a 2-0 lead here in the opening frame. And he will get a courtesy runner over there. And Bohm just gave that a long ride. Reyes Rodriguez steps in. After that triple by Jared Bohm. Jackson will wind, and the offering. Fastball is off the glove of the catcher Sims, and racing home and scoring easily for the Mustangs and giving them a 3-0 lead is T.J. Bauer. So Fort Morgan off to a great start here on their home field, looking for their first home win. And it's 1 ball and no strikes to Rodriguez. Wind and pitch. Swung on and driven into left center field for a base hit on the line. Excellent play out there to get the ball back in. And holding Reyes Rodriguez to a singles, Brandon Blackston. But he tattooed that baseball. And the Mustangs are coming up very aggressively as Tony Zwedzig will now bat. Yeah, Fort Morgan has come to play tonight. They realize they got to win this game, and that fastball's a strike. On the inside corner, 1 ball and no strikes. Throw back to first, back in standing is Rodriguez. No balls and 1 strike to Tony Zwedzig. The Mustangs with the early 3-0 lead on a 2-run triple by Bohm. Swing and a miss on that heater. Count goes to 0-2. Oh, and 2 to Zwedzig. And the offering. And the breaking ball is down and in. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The stretch by Jackson working quickly. Runner going. And that's inside with a fastball. The throw to second. It's there. The tag. And out! At second base. An excellent tag applied by Alan Lang as Reyes Rodriguez is caught stealing. And that will go 2-6. And there's 2 down. Now Jackson out of the windup. The wind and offering. And he short-armed that ball all the way to the screen. And the count is at 3-2. So he's worked him to a full count. The pitch swung on and fouled off to the right. Count remains at 3-2 to Tony Zwedzig. Bottom of the first inning. The Mustangs are on the board. The pitch, and he bounced that one in there. That's the second walk of the inning issued by Tanner Jackson. And that'll extend the inning for the Mustangs. As James Blackston will now hit. And Josh Langford was very aggressive with Kyle Daniels, who got on and later scored. Let's see what he does here with a runner at first and Zwedzig and 2 down. And a balk. Jackson didn't come to the set. So the second is Zwedzig. So Blackston still waiting for the first pitch thrown to him. 3-0 Mustangs, a 2-run triple by Jared Bohm, and T.J. Bauer scored on a wild pitch. And the offering. And that is off the glove of the catcher. I don't know if he's got a hole in that glove, but it was right there, and Sims couldn't handle it. And to third base on the pass ball is Zwedzig. Yeah, it looks like he's playing out of position the way he's struggling with pitches thrown by Jackson. He's not throwing them that poorly. 1 ball and no strikes. A 2-run triple by Bone brought to you by Morgan Federal Bank, committed to their community and keeping banking simple. That's bounced in there and blocked by Sims. When you need banking advice, stop by and see one of their loan officers Monday through Friday, 321 Ensign, Morgan Federal Bank. There's a difference, member FDIC. And the 2-0. Swag, and a miss took something off it. It's 2-1 to James Blackston. In the bottom of the first inning. Mustangs vying for their third victory of the year and winning their conference opener if they can pull it off. And that's down and in. The count moves to 3-1. Look to the team at Aspen Rehabilitation inside Valley View Villa for your sports rehab, short-term or long-term care needs at 815 Fremont, or call them 867-8261 Valley View Villa. And the pitch swung on and grounded to third and bobbled over there, picked up. The throw to first is going to be late. It'll be an error on the third baseman, Alex Reese, after the bobble. Scoring is Tony Zwedzig, and the Mustangs now lead 4-0. Here comes Chris Anderson. The stretch and the pitch. Fastball is up and away. One ball and no strikes. The pitch bounces it in there off the glove of Sims, but he chases it down. And right now Jackson is short-arming a lot of pitches, not rearing back on a lot of these pitches. And that's certainly hurting him. He can't find the strike zone. The 2-0. Again, he short-armed it. Bounces it in. He's already walked 2 in the inning. And the 8th hitter, Chris Anderson, way ahead in the count. And right now it is 3-0. More than likely taking, he does, and it's up and away. And it's a walk. And the Mustangs will bat around here in the bottom of the first inning. That'll send up Joey Schneider, the junior catcher. Hitting from the right side. Swung on and grounded foul up the third base side. 1 ball and no strikes. Now check that. No balls and 1 strike. And the pitch. And that breaking ball bounces off of Sims towards the screen. Advancing are Blackston to third and Anderson to second. And now the count is even at 1-1. And so far, Jackson has thrown 29 pitches, 19 for balls. And he's walked 3 Mustangs. And the Mustangs lead 4-0, 2 more in scoring position in the bottom of the first inning. The stretch and the pitch to Schneider. Fastball is upstairs. It's 2-1. Your one-stop center for home improvement projects, Ackley Building Center, 1402 Mill Street in Brush. For flooring, paint, tools, appliances, and more, Ackley Building Center. And the 2-1, and that's bounced in there as well. I don't know how much longer Tanner Jackson's going to be able to stay in the game. He just can't find the strike zone. Only 10 strikes out of 31 pitches. And on deck is Kyle Daniels, who began the inning with an infield single. And the pitch, swag and a miss at the letters. Count is at 3-2. At third is Blackston. Anderson at second. That's Chris Anderson. 3 balls and 2 strikes. To the 9th place hitter in the Mustang lineup, Joey Schneider. Jackson looks in and delivers. That is a called strike 3 on a little bender right down the middle. And the inning is over. But the Mustangs have a very productive inning. 4 runs on 3 hits, 1 error, and 2 men left. Let's head to the second. It's Fort Morgan 4, Weld Central nothing on B106 and B106.com. John Beltran back with you. The Mustangs lead the Weld Central Rebels 4-0 as we head to the second inning. Jared Bohm was nails in the opening inning, throwing just 10 pitches. It'll be Alan Lang, Brandon Blackston, and Tanner Jackson against the right-hander. Stepping in is the right-handed hitting Lang. Here's the one and pitch. Swung on in line towards right field. That's going to be a base hit as Aguilar charges. And racing down that line is Lang. He doesn't want to be thrown out from there. And Weld Central has their first base runner in Alan Lang. That'll send up Brandon Blackston from the right side. Another veteran player for this Weld Central team. They made it to the 3A state tournament 2 years ago. Now they're a 4A team. Throw back to first, and Lang is back in standing. The Mustangs at double play depth. The stretch and the pitch. And the fastball is a strike on the outer half at the knees. No balls and 1 strike. Ball gets away. Backed up by Rodriguez, but Coach Langford doesn't like that at all. He teaches that at the youth level. Bad throw towards the mound. You need a second baseman and a shortstop backing up, and luckily, that did not cost the Mustangs an extra base. The stretch and the 0-1. Swung on, hit off the end of the bat on the ground to Anderson. Spins, throws to second. That's 1. And back to first is going to be offline and up against the screen, but backed up nicely by Schneider. That's an excellent play by the Mustang catcher, Joey Schneider. Not taking anything for granted there. The fielder's choice goes 3-6. Eliminating the runner at second. 1 down for the opposing pitcher, Tanner Jackson. Stretched by Bohm. And the pitch swung on and fouled off Schneider. No balls and 1 strike. Mustangs with a 4-0 lead, 1 on, 1 out, top of the second inning against these Weld Central Rebels, who they'll play on Friday in Keensburg at 4 o'clock right here on B106 as well as B106.com as Jackson steps back in. And the pitch, swag, and a miss through the fastball right by him. Just above belt level. And the count moves to 0-2. Stretched by Bohm. And the offering. Curveball is hit off the end of the bat in the air on the right side. Second baseman Rodriguez calls for it. Shy of the grass, makes the catch. Blackston back to first, and there's 2 down. Two down for Alex Reese, the third baseman who committed an error, allowing the Mustangs to plate a 4th run in that first inning. Bohm stretches. Bohm delivers. Fastball is a little bit high. 1 ball and no strikes. And swung on and grounded on the right side. Second baseman Rodriguez sets sidearms to first for the out. And Alex Reese is retired. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. We've played an inning and a half. From Fort Morgan, the score, the Mustangs 4, the Weld Central Rebels nothing. This is B106 and B106.com. The Mustangs batted around in the opening inning as we head to the bottom of the second. Fort Morgan 4, Weld Central nothing. It'll be Kyle Daniels, Austin Cosman, and Wes Anderson against the right-hander Tanner Jackson. Daniels reached on an infield single in the opening frame. Jackson threw 33 pitches, only 12 were in the strike zone as the Mustangs worked him well. Wind in the pitch, and that is in there for a strike on the inside half. Belt high with a fastball, it's 0-1. Sims really struggled behind that plate in the bottom of the first inning, the offering, and spun it down the third baseline, but foul. Yeah, if he keeps that fair, there's no way they throw Daniels out, batting from the left side with all that speed. If you're tired of the same old lunch and dinner menu, switch it up and pick up something new from the hot and cold deli selection at Stubbs Gas and Oil. Great food at low prices, Stubbs Gas and Oil in Wiggins. No balls and 2 strikes. Jackson gets the sign. And the pitch swung on and chopped towards the first baseman, Wilkinson. He's got it. Steps on the bag, and there's 1 down in the bottom of the second inning. And that'll bring up Austin Cosman, who walked and scored in the opening frame on a 2-run triple by Jared Bohm. Here's the wind and pitch. Fastball is up and in. 1 ball and no strikes to Cosman. Jackson working quickly. And the pitch swung on and drilled foul up the third base side. The count levels at 1-1. Mustangs with some inexperience going into this season. That's showed a little bit in the win-loss column. They were 20-1 a year ago, now 2-4, but playing better of late. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. The bases are empty, 4-0 Fort Morgan in the bottom of the second inning at Eddie Underwood Field. Cosman steps back in. Sims lays down the sign, and the 1-1 pitch swung on and drilled on a line into the left field corner. Cosman's going to have at least 2. Brian Gutka chasing it down. Cosman around first. He's into second with a 1-out double in the bottom of the second inning. And that was hit on a straight line. That'll bring up Wes Anderson. Anderson with no official at bat in this game because he had a sacrifice bunt, advancing the runners to second and third. That does not go against your average. Now with an RBI opportunity. The stretch and the pitch. Swing and a miss way out in front of a changeup. No balls and 1 strike to the Mustang first baseman. Yeah, it certainly was. He took a swing like it was a fastball coming in. Let's see the adjustment that he makes here. The pitch bounces into Sims. And the count levels at 1 ball and 1 strike to Wes Anderson with Austin Cosman at second. 4-0 Fort Morgan in the bottom of the second. Jackson looks back. And the 1-1. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball that dove in the zone. And it's 1-2 right now. Anderson just not picking up the pitch from Jackson's right hand. 1-2 to Anderson. The offering. Swung on and grounded to first. Wilkinson's got it. He stabbed that glove to his right. Runner advances to third as Wilkinson steps on the base. 2 down. And that will bring up Jared Bohm. Let's see how Weld Central pitches to him, considering that in his last at-bat, he delivered a 2-run triple. The pitch, up and in. One ball and no strikes. To the Mustang pitcher. Jackson delivers. Swing and a miss, opened up a little bit, and Bohm missed it. The count is level at 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 down, man at third. Mustangs up by 4 in the bottom of the second inning. Sims lays down the sign, the pitch. And that's a strike. Took something off of that on the inside corner at the knees. The count moves to 1-2. Jackson in much more control in this bottom of the second inning, trying to mow down the Mustangs. The offering. Curveball is a called strike 3 right down the middle. Froze Bohm. And the inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a man left at third. 2 complete from Fort Morgan. It's Fort Morgan 4, Weld Central nothing. This is B106 and B106.com. Let's head to the third inning. The Mustangs with a 4-0 lead over the Weld Central Rebels. We can follow us on Facebook and Twitter at B106 for continuous updates, and at KSIRsports.com for a play-by-play version of this game. You can run through every single hitter, see what they've done. Matt Sims now the hitter. The pitch swung on and fouled off the end of the bat to the screen. Bohm has been very economical. He's thrown just 19 pitches, 15 for strikes, and only 4 balls. No balls and 1 strike to the right-handed hitting catcher. The pitch swung on and fouled straight back, and the count is at 0-2. You want your vehicle and farm equipment to be in top shape, so make sure you take care of them. Purchase the best quality parts and accessories at great prices at your local Napa store, Central Auto Parts in Fort Morgan. Wine in the 0-2. In the dirt, blocked by Schneider. Tried to throw the bender there. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Weld Central has just 1 hit in the opening 2 frames. The offering. Swing and a miss and a breaking ball in the dirt. Schneider will pick it up. He'll fire to first, and there's 1 down in the top of the third inning. One down. And the hitter will be Reese Metler. Another right-handed hitter for Weld Central. Playing right field tonight. The pitch. Swing and a miss and a sidearm fastball. It's 0-1. Bohm looks in, gets the sign, and the offering. Swung on, chopped right back towards Bohm. He picks it up, throws to first, 2 down. And Jared Bohm is making this look very, very simple. And that's what baseball's all about. Here's Giovanni Garfio Portillo, who grounded out to the second baseman Rodriguez in the opening frame. Yeah, the Mustangs hit the ball even more. They could make this a 4.5 or 5 inning game and certainly save Bohm's arm. The pitch, fastball, a little bit low. 1 ball and no strikes. Portillo with an open stance. Awaits the offering, and the breaking ball is over for a strike at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike. Bohm doesn't waste any time. He wants his fielders to be on their toes. The breaking ball is in the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike to Giovanni Garfio Portillo. 2 out, nobody on. The pitch, up and in with a fastball. Count moves to 3 balls and 1 strike. Temperature still passable right now, although obviously it's going to be dropping. 3-1. A strike with a fastball at the knees. It's 3-2. Bohm had a 1-2-3 first, trying to do the same in the 30s. 1 pitch away. 3-2. The offering outside, and he walks him on 6 pitches. That'll bring up Brian Gutka, who grounded out to the first baseman Anderson in his opening at bat. Throw back to first. Back in standing is Garfio Portillo. And the offering. Swing and a miss and a breaking ball. It's 0-1. When Bohm has that working, he's pretty tough to connect against. The stretch, short lead by Garfio Portillo, and the offering. Swung on and fouled back, challenged him with a fastball. No balls and 2 strikes. Now he's 1 pitch away from getting out of what hasn't been a jam yet, but could turn into one. Swung on, grounded, foul off the end of the bat. We had a lot of those up the first base side. And the count remains at 0-4 to Fort Morgan in the top of the 3rd inning. They scored all their runs in the first. Got a 2-run triple from Jared Bohm. The pitch, fastball outside. Ball 1, strike 2. Before your next mixer or feeder truck purchase, compare the MMI design, craftsmanship, and service MMI International. They outperform their competitors 842-5161. The pitch. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball down and away. And Jared Bohm retires the side. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left. 2.5 complete in Fort Morgan. It's the Mustangs 4, the Rebels nothing on B106 and B106.com. John Beltran back with you in Fort Morgan as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. The Mustangs pitching a shutout now, 4-0 over the Weld Central Rebels. Right-hander Tanner Jackson will be facing Reyes Rodriguez, Tony Zwedzig, and James Blackston. The 5, 6, and 7 hitters. Rodriguez had a base hit in his opening at bat into left center field. Here is the wind and the pitch. Swing and a miss and a breaking ball. Diving down and away. No balls and 1 strike. To Reyes Rodriguez. And the offering. Swung on and lined into left center field for a base hit. That one might roll for a while, but it's cut off there by the left fielder, Brian Gutka. Rodriguez races for second. He's in there with a leadoff double. Nice speed there by the Mustangs second baseman. And he is 2 for 2. Here comes Tony Zwedzig. Mustangs threatening to extend a 4-run lead. Zwedzig walked and then scored as part of that 4-run first inning. And Jackson threw a meatball in there, and Rodriguez took advantage. And the offering squaring to bunt, and the ball hits Zwedzig. I believe it did on the ankles. It did. He tried to jump out of the way, but now he's at first base. That'll bring up James Blackston, who reached on an error, scoring the 4th run. It was a ground ball misfielded by the 3rd baseman, Alex Reese. Let's see if Blackston is called on to bunt here. That's what Wes Anderson did with 1st and 2nd and nobody out in the 1st inning. Same situation here in the 3rd. The stretch by Jackson and the pitch squaring to bunt, and he bunts it up the first base side. Gorgeous bunt taken by the catcher. Sims has no play. He has no play. Could have thrown to first perhaps. It'll be a bunt single for James Blackston, who got up that line beautifully, and the bases are loaded. The bases are loaded for Chris Anderson. Now Fort Morgan can really break this thing wide open. Hitting from the left side. Stretch by Jackson. The pitch. Swung on and grounded to second. Might come home. And the throw home is right there. Throw back to first. And out! That's a double play. That'll go 4-2 to 3. Garfio Portillo to Sims to Wilkinson. And there are 2 down. Two down for Joey Schneider, who was caught looking in the opening inning. The stretch and the pitch swung on and fouled back. That changes that inning altogether. Mustangs could have raced out to a 6 or 7-0 lead, but after the 4-2-3 double play hit into by Anderson, as the Rebels were playing the infield in, and that was a good decision by head coach Leslie Tapia. Now Fort Morgan has got to capitalize with 2 outs, the offering, and the breaking ball is down and in. 1 ball and 1 strike. Swedzik at third, Blackston at second. And a solid throw there by Sims to nail the hitter Anderson after Portillo threw home for the force. And the offering swung on and grounded to third, right underneath Reese's glove into left field. 1 run is in. Blackston around third. He will score. And the Mustangs now lead 6-0 on Reese's second error of the game. Boy, that is certainly a killer there for Weld Central. Could have got out of the inning. And instead, the Mustangs now have a comfortable 6-0 lead. Here is the left-handed hitting Kyle Daniels stepping in for the Mustangs. 1 for 2 in the game. He singled and grounded out. The stretch, and time is called. And another balk. Apparently Jackson did not come to a set. So that advances the base runner to second. So now another runner in scoring position for the Mustangs. And the offering up and away. After the balk, the count is at 1-0. The stretch, and Mustangs have a courtesy runner, by the way. A fastball for a strike took something off it. And the count is level at 1-1. One ball, 1 strike. Swung on and fouled off to the left. Count moves to 1-2 on Kyle Daniels. Again, 1 for 2 in the game. The stretch by Tanner Jackson. Big lead at second. And the offering up and away with a breaking ball. Count levels at 2-2. Looking in. And the pitch. Again up and away. 3-2. Looks like Kenny Keller out at second base for Fort Morgan. 60 pitches already thrown by Jackson in the game. We're only in the third. Payoff pitch. Well outside on another changeup, and Daniels walks. That'll bring up Austin Cosman, who's been on base twice. He walked and scored in the first and doubled in the second. Cosman with an RBI opportunity. The pitch. Fastball is up and in. And all of a sudden, struggling with his control again is Tanner Jackson. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 on, 2 out, 2 in. The pitch in the dirt. 2-0. Let's see if Coach Tapia is going to come out after this hitter if Cosman gets on. It looked like he had found his rhythm, and quite frankly, you can't blame Jackson. These 2 runs are unearned due to an error earlier in the inning. But the Mustangs might not be done. 2 balls and no strikes to Austin Cosman. And the offering. Swung on, tapped foul up the third base side. The count moves to 2-1. Cosman settles back in. The stretch. And the pitch. Swung on and fouled off the end of the bat to the screen. A little bit out in front, quite a bit out in front. It's 2-2. And you got some big sticks coming up in Anderson and Bohm. Stretch by Jackson, 2-2. Curveball is grounded to third and right underneath Reese again, and it deflects into foul territory. The Mustangs will score another run as Keller crosses home plate. Advancing to second is Daniels, and the Mustangs now lead 7-0. Third error on the third baseman for Weld Central. Wow, those just hurt. Didn't stay down on the play. And Fort Morgan now leads 7-0. And here's Wes Anderson, who's 0 for 1. The stretch and the offering. Swung on and driven foul down the right field line. Counted no balls and 1 strike. Anderson gave it a ride, but that pitch. Jackson looks in. The offering up and away. Went with a heater. Count levels at 1-1. One ball, 1 strike, 2 on, 3 in, 2 down. And the pitch runner going to third. Swung on and grounded towards right field. A diving attempt by Garfield Portillo. Throws to first. And Wes Anderson is out. An outstanding play in the hole by the second baseman of the Weld Central Rebels, Giovanni Garfield Portillo. However, the Mustangs in the inning were very productive as they score 3 times on 2 hits, 2 errors, and 2 men left. 3 complete. It's Fort Morgan 7, Weld Central nothing. This is B106 and B106.com. Let's head to the 4th inning, where the Mustangs hold a commanding 7-0 lead over the Weld Central Rebels. And Jared Bohm is certainly doing his job, allowing the opposing team to put the ball in play, and the Mustangs are playing excellent defense behind him. Here's Dalton Wilkinson. Fastball is low. 1 ball, no strikes. Bohm struck out Wilkinson to end the first. And the pitch. Low again. 2-0. Only the 11th and 12th balls thrown by Bohm in this game. The offering. That's a strike. Took something on that fastball. Put it on the outside edge of the knees. And the count is at 2-1. Bohm gets the sign from Schneider. 2-1 pitch. That is a little bit low and away. 3-1. All the runs the Mustangs scored in the 3rd inning were unearned. The pitch. Fastball, a strike on the outer half just above the knees. It's 3-2. As 3 errors in the game by third baseman Alex Rees have really hurt Weld Central. Payoff pitch. Swung on and grounded to short. Zwedzig fields. He's set. He fires. There's 1 down in the top of the 4th inning. 1 down for Alan Lang. He has the only hit of the game for Weld Central. It was a 2nd inning single. And he will now bat. Heading from the right side is the Weld Central shortstop. Wind and pitch. And the breaking ball is a beauty right down the middle for a strike. It's 0-1. Northeast Colorado's locally owned hometown savings and loan with locations in Fort Morgan and Brush. Equitable Savings and Loan. Swung on, line into right field. That is a base hit. And Alan Lang is 2 for 2. He's the only one that's been able to solve Jared Bohm. Brandon Blackston grounded to first in the 2nd inning as he will bat for the Rebels. Got some lights on in right field, and that's, always have to make sure that if you're coming to the game and if you're watching it from beyond the fence, your lights have got to be off. So here's Blackston. 1 out, 1 on in the fourth. 7-0 Fort Morgan. Runner going. The pitch is outside. The throw to second on a hop, and it sails into center field, but backed up over there. And it's a stolen base for Alan Lang. Nothing Schneider could do there. It was a great jump by Lang. And Weld Central's threatening in the fourth inning. And they've got to chip away because they're down by 7. 1 ball and no strikes to Brandon Blackston. Lang with a 3-step lead and the pitch. Breaking ball is outside. It's 2-0. Bohm gets the sign. And the 2-0 pitch. Swung on, grounded off the end of the bat to the first baseman. Anderson to his right. Field steps on the bag. Advancing to third is Lang. There's 2 down. And now headed to the plate off the ball that was thrown away in the infield, and scoring is going to be Brandon Blackston. And it's now a 7-1 game. Well, the Mustangs got careless there. Apparently, I put my head down to mark what had happened. But then Lang is able to score on an error. Not sure if that was on Anderson. I put the head down, but definitely an error on the Mustangs. And the offering. Tanner Jackson takes a fastball for a strike. And Josh Langford not going to be happy about that one. No doubt. Can't allow a free run even when you're up big. The pitch. Curveball is a strike. 0-2 to Tanner Jackson. Getting the sign is Bohm. The offering. Swung on and twisted foul off to the right in the air. Count remains at 0-2. Yeah, that doesn't normally sit well when a ball gets away with a head coach or with the pitcher who is throwing a shutout. No balls and 2 strikes. And the offering. Swing and a miss and a fastball. And the inning is over. Weld Central scores a run on 1 hit. There was 1 error and nobody left. Let's head to the bottom of the 4th inning after the break. It's Fort Morgan 7, Weld Central 1 on B106 and B106.com. John Beltran back in Fort Morgan where the Mustangs lead the Weld Central Rebels by a score of 7-1. The last 4 runs in this game have all scored on errors. And the Mustangs will be sending up their 4, 5, and 6 hitters. It'll be Jared Bohm, Reyes Rodriguez, and Tony Zwedzig against right-hander Tanner Jackson, who's thrown 69 pitches in the game. Mustangs still have a shot here to make this a 4.5 or 5 inning game because they do have a 6-run lead. Mustangs scored 4 in the first and 3 in the third. So the odd inning or innings have been very good for Fort Morgan. Let's see if they can make this even inning a good one. A 2-run triple for Bowman his first at bat, then struck out looking in his second at bat. And the right-hander Jackson delivers in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes. More than likely, unless this is a very short inning, this will be the final inning for Tanner Jackson. The wind and the offering. Curveball is right there for a strike. The count is leveled at 1-1. Whirlpool Appliances, with the world moving towards more green energy, time for you to recycle the old and get in with the new. Fastball is upstairs. New appliances, that is B and B Appliance. Ball 2, strike 1 to Jared Bohm. 7-1 Fort Morgan, leading Weld Central in Fort Morgan. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. Sims lays down the sign. And the 2-1 pitch. And that is a changeup, down and in, 3-1. Normally a pitcher gets a courtesy runner. Don't know if that'll be the case here for Bohm, considering he's fast. But he's got to get on first. 3-1. And that took something off it on the inside corner. Bohm was headed to first, and it was a delayed call by the home plate umpire, but it's 3-2 to Jared Bohm. Wind by Jackson. Payoff pitch. And that is inside with a changeup, and Bohm walks. And that'll bring up Reyes Rodriguez, who has been very good in this game and very good on this field. Had a couple of doubles against Valley. He's 2 for 2 in this game. And looking to extend this Fort Morgan lead at any moment. T.J. Bauer will be the courtesy runner for Jared Bohm. Rodriguez now bats. Righty against righty. 2-step lead at first. Jackson delivers. Down and away. Count is at 1 ball and no strikes. If he can find another gap, Bauer might be able to score. And the pitch. And that ball hit him. Second hit batsman on a breaking ball that didn't break whatsoever. And now the Mustangs have first and second with nobody out. For Tony Zwedzig, he was the other Mustang hit by a pitch. All right, in 2 situations, one in the first and one in the third, Josh Langford has had the third hitter bunt with runners at first and second. So it wouldn't be a surprise if that was done right here. Wants to make sure that his players can execute the small ball. The stretch, and the pitch squaring to bunt, and he misses that bunt. Tried to lay it down, misses the ball, I should say. No balls and 1 strike. To Tony Zwedzig. Not the ideal pitch to bunt as it was diving away from the strike zone. Runners take their leads. He'll square to bunt again, and that one is up and in with a fastball. The count is level at 1 ball and 1 strike. Fort Morgan has scored their last 3 runs, all on errors. In fact, their last 4 runs, because the final run of the first inning was scored on an error, all by the third baseman, Reese. Squaring to bunt 1-1, and he misses that one. Waved at it, but did not get that one. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now Zwedzig more than likely is going to have to hit away. Zwedzig with no at-bats in this game. He was walked and hit by a pitch. At second is Bauer. Rodriguez at first. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the offering. Curveball is swung on, grounded up the middle for a base hit. Bauer's going to round third. He's going to be sent home. The throw towards the plate is going to be all the way through, but Bauer scores easily on the RBI single from Tony Zwedzig. And the Mustangs now lead by a score of 8-1. And holding up at second was Rodriguez. Here's James Blackston. 1 for 2 in the game as he reached on an error. And he also got on via the bunt signal, and he pops that one up into foul territory. Foul. Well, I said that foul, but it was not caught. The dive there by the catcher. But just a foul ball. The Mustangs unable to bunt successfully so far in this inning. No balls and 1 strike. Let's see, the bunt signal is still on. The pitch squaring to bunt again. That one right back towards the pitcher. Jackson picks it up, fires to first. Second baseman Garfield Portillo is covering. And there's 1 down as the runners advance. So another successful sacrifice bunt by the Mustangs. 1 down for Chris Anderson. 8-1 Fort Morgan. And the pitch in the dirt, but blocked beautifully there by Matt Sims. The count is at 1 ball and no strikes. Jackson sets, and the offering. Changeup is outside. The count moves to 2-0. Anderson has walked and hit into a fielder choice. Squaring to bunt on the suicide squeeze. It's up the third baseline. Scoring is Rodriguez. There will not be a throw to first. Oh, outstanding bunt by Chris Anderson. And the Mustangs now lead 9-1 as Wedzig moves to third. Oh, that was gorgeous. Doesn't get much better than that. That'll bring up Joey Schneider. And Anderson laid it down perfectly. And Fort Morgan looking to shorten this game. As the temperatures dip, that's a good idea. The pitch in the dirt on a breaking ball down and away. The count is at 1 ball and no strikes with runners on the corners and 1 down in the bottom of the 4th inning. 9-1 with the Mustangs leading the Rebels. The pitch up and in. 2 balls and no strikes. Two and 0 to Schneider. At third is Wedzig. Anderson at first. That's Chris Anderson. And the offering. Upstairs. Delayed steal. No throw as Anderson takes off for second. And now 2 runners in scoring position. And more than likely, Schneider will be taking here. I don't see any way he'll be swinging. On the 3-0. Here it is. Over the plate for a strike. Throw him a simple fastball. 3 balls and 1 strike. The stretch. And the pitch. That is taken for strike 2. It'll be a payoff pitch now to Joey Schneider. 3 and 2 with 2 runners in scoring position. 1 down in the bottom of the 4th inning. Jackson delivers, and that's in the dirt with a breaking ball, and the bases are reloaded for Kyle Daniels. And Daniels is singled, grounded out, and walked. And with the way Jared Bones pitching, and the Mustangs score 2 more runs, this could be over in the next 10 to 15 minutes. Kenny Keller is now the courtesy runner at first for Joey Schneider. Conference on the mound. Well, they did play the infield in the last inning. They actually got a double play. Not sure if that'll be the strategy right now. Daniels hitting from the left side. No, they're back in double play depth. Stretched by Jackson. And the pitch. And that is a fastball tailing inside. 1 ball and no strikes. And you can feel the temperature dipping. At third is Wedzig. Chris Anderson at second. Kenny Keller at first. 1-0 pitch. Fastball is up and away. 2-0. Yeah, this has got to be the final hitter that Jackson would face. He's thrown 94 pitches, and he's been all over the place. Daniels awaits the 2-0. Swung on and grounded foul up the first base side. Looking for a pitch he could drive, and it was down in the zone. Still ahead in the count. At 2-1. Fort Morgan with 4 runs in the first inning, 3 in the third, and 2 so far in this bottom of the 4th inning. 9-1 Mustangs. Runners take their leads. 2-1 to Daniels. Upstairs with a changeup. It's 3-1. It has got to be perfect, I would think, for Daniels to even take a swing. Way ahead in the count now. At 3-1, the offering, and it finesses that ball in there, and it's low. Just took something off it. And it's a bases-loaded walk as Wedzig scores. And the Mustangs now lead by a score of 10-1. And here's Austin Cosman to hit for the Mustangs. It's a lonely feeling out there when you can't throw the strikes. Again, playing the infield back is Weld Central, a double play depth. Stretching a pitch to Cosman, and he takes a fastball upstairs. Cosman in the game has walked, doubled, and reached on an error. He is 1 for 2 officially in the game. And now ahead in the count. The offering. Down and in with a changeup. And the count moves to 2-0. This will be the 100th pitch thrown by Jackson. Stretch. And the offering way outside. Well, I don't know if Coach Tapia can keep him in there any longer. This is getting tough to watch because you feel bad for the kid. Way down in the count, the offering. That fastball's in there for a strike, but he's still way down in the count. He's got to throw that much earlier in the count to have a chance. It's 3-1. Three balls and one strike to Cosman, the pitch. And he swings and pops it foul and out of play. So now it is 3-2. Looking to try and retire Austin Cosman. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runners take their leads. Payoff pitch. Swung on in, lifted towards center field. Brandon Blackston is right there, makes the catch. And he dropped the ball. Chris Anderson will score. And the Mustangs now lead 11-1. He just dropped the ball. That is scored as a sac fly with an error. That's the way that goes. So it's still a ribby. But now 11-1. Here's Wes Anderson, who's 0 for 2. The stretch and the offering. Up and away. One ball, no strikes. You got to make the plays. That's already 4 errors by Weld Central. The offering. Down and in with a fastball. The Mustangs now lead 11-1. And poor Tanner Jackson just not getting the help out there. 2 balls and no strikes. The pitch way outside. Off the glove of Sims. That wild pitch will score Kenny Keller as the ball hits him on the way through. And here comes Kyle Daniels to the plate. He will score. Austin Cosman to third. Mustangs now lead 13-1. And it's 3 balls and no strikes. As 2 runners scored on a wild pitch and now lead by 12. And it's 3 balls and no strikes to Wes Anderson. Stretch and the pitch. Right over the plate for a strike with a fastball. Yeah, it doesn't get any more fun here when it doesn't turn into real baseball. The Mustangs just dominating this one now. The offering, and that's down and away with another changeup. And Anderson walks. And here comes Jared Bohm. And there comes Leslie Tapia, the head coach of the Weld Central Rebels. As Tanner Jackson's thrown 108 pitches in the game. And I'm sure his numbers aren't what he would like. And we will have a pitching change. We'll take it with him. How about a 2-minute break? 2 minutes with the score. Fort Morgan 13, Weld Central 1 on B106 and B106.com. All right, Tanner Jackson is still in the game. I thought they were going to take him out. There was a sign there that it looked like he was coming out of the game, but he's still in there. 13-1 now. 2 balls and no strikes to Jared Bohm. And the offering. And that is low and away. 3-0. Just moments ago, Kenny Keller and Kyle Daniels scored on 1 wild pitch to give the Mustangs this humongous lead. The offering. And that curveball is up and away. It's another walk It'll take us a while to go through the number of walks as Reyes Rodriguez singled, doubled, and hit by a pitch. Perfect on the day. T.J. Bauer, the courtesy runner at first, as Rodriguez will now bat for the Mustangs. They've scored 6 runs in the inning, and this is the 11th batter of the inning. The pitch swung on and tapped foul to the screen. Well, just anything over the plate at this point is what you want. And that's even if you're a Mustang fan. You want this game to move along. No balls and 1 strike. Stretch by Tanner Jackson. And the pitch swung on, fouled off to the right. And the count is at 0-2. Mustangs, who also won big on Saturday over Buena Vista. I think that was a 17-4 final. The pitch in the dirt with a breaking ball. And the count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes on Reyes Rodriguez, who's yet to be retired. Breaking ball is down and away. Yeah, I'm sure they want to extend the strike zone, the umpires do, but it's got to be a legitimate strike. Close, but definitely not a strike. And the pitch up and in. And now, all of a sudden, it's a 3-2 count to Reyes Rodriguez with the bases loaded in the bottom of the 4th inning. 3-2. Swung on, tapped foul up the third base side. Again, you can follow us on Twitter and Facebook here for scoring updates. And right now, it's all Fort Morgan. They're not looking back in this one. The stretch. 3-2 pitch. Swung on in line towards right center field. That is going to drop for a base hit. 1 run is going to score as crossing home plate is Cosman. It's an RBI single for Rodriguez, his 3rd hit of the game. And the Mustangs now lead 14-1. Runners advance 1 base at a time. Yeah, no way this won't be a shortened game. Tony Zwedzig has walked, hit by a pitch, and singled. Swung on and lifted down the right field line. A long run into foul territory. And it's going to drop as giving chase was Reese Metler. No balls and 1 strike. Oh, and 1 here to Zwedzig. The bases are reloaded there for Fort Morgan. The stretch by Jackson and the pitch. Swung on, tapped foul off the end of the bat. Count is at 0-2. Caleb Bell is at third. T.J. Bauer at second. And Reyes Rodriguez at first. And the offering. Curveball is a called strike 3. And there's 2 down. Here's James Blackston. Reached on an error. Then a bunt single. Then a sacrifice bunt. He's 1 for 2. The pitch. Fastball is a little bit high. 1 ball, no strikes. The Mustangs have plated 7 runs in the inning. And the offering. That's up and in with a heater. Count sitting at 2-0 to Blackston. In a hitter's count, the 2-0. Inside with a changeup. 3-0. Wow. This is a lot of pitches thrown by this guy. A lot of pitches. And the offering. Swung on, driven down the left field line. If it's fair, it's trouble. And that ball is foul. Just foul. That would have scored 3 runs right there. But Blackston just a tad out in front. And he was swinging at that 3-0. Good idea in a game where you're up big. Got his pitch. 3 balls and 1 strike. To Blackston. Runners take their leads. And the pitch. That fastball is up and in. And scoring will be Bell. And the Mustangs now lead 15-1. Here comes Chris Anderson once again. He's 1 for 2. This will be the 14th batter of the inning for Fort Morgan. The pitch swung on, tapped foul. Up the first base side, the count is at 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. The stretch and the offering. Up and in. Took something off it. Count is level at 1-1. Yeah, I don't remember the last time I saw a high school pitcher throw this many pitches in a game. The pitch swung on, line towards left field. That will drop for a base hit. 1 run will score. Rodriguez is around third. He will score on a 2-run single from Chris Anderson. And the Mustangs now lead 17-1. That is 10 runs in the inning. Joey Schneider is now set to hit. He's 0 for 2 in the game. I'm trying to update all our Twitter and Facebook, but with all these runs, going to take a while. Up and in with a fastball. Count is at 1-0. Just looking for 1 more out as Weld Central. They're down by 16. 1-0 pitch. Fastball, a strike. And the count levels at 1-1. 132 pitches now thrown by Tanner Jackson. The pitch. Swung on, fouled off. And out of play. The count is at 1-2. Well, maybe now will be the time that they finally end this inning. Mustangs want to keep hitting. There's no doubt about it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch. Swung on, fouled off to the right. Count remains at 1-2 to Joey Schneider. Schneider steps in. Runners take their leads at first and second. The pitch. Swung on and foul, tipped off the glove of Sims. I thought it was over there, but it was fouled. It stays at 1-2. The stretch. The pitch. Swing and a miss. And that is finally the end of the inning as Schneider goes down. However, the Mustangs put together an epic inning here as they scored 10 times on just 4 hits, 1 error, and 2 men left. We head to the 5th inning. Should be the final half inning because the Rebels need 7 runs to stay alive. It's Fort Morgan 17, Weld Central 1 on B106 and B106.com. The Mustangs lead the Weld Central Rebels by a score of 17-1 as we head to the top of the 5th inning. Weld Central needs 7 runs to stay alive in this game and extend it to a bottom of the 5th inning. But the way that Jared Bohm is pitching, that almost seems fairly impossible. Bohm has allowed just 2 hits. And we'll have a pinch hitter. It'll be Michael Moppin, now hitting for Weld Central from the right side. And Bohm has thrown just 50 pitches. Ball is down and away. Tanner Jackson, his counterpart, threw well over 130. 2.5 times of what Bohm has thrown so far. The offering swung on and fouled off to the right. It's 1-1. And Josh Langford not messing around because he figures, well, he could take his pitcher out with a big lead, but why do so at this point? He hasn't thrown that many pitches. 1 ball, 1 strike. The pitch in the dirt. It is 2-1. And you feel really bad for Tanner Jackson. He fought out there, but walk after walk. Fastball is away. Tanner Jackson threw 136 pitches. Struck out 4, but walked 10. And now a walk issued by Jared Bohm to begin the top of the 5th inning to Michael Moppin. Another pinch hitter coming up here for the Weld Central Rebels. This will be Cade Hoffman from the right side with an open stance. Throw back to first. Back in diving is Moppin. Mustangs have made a few defensive changes as well. The pitch, swing and a miss on a breaking ball. Jared Henderson is now the first baseman. No balls and 1 strike to Cade Hoffman. The stretch by Bohm. Again, throw back to first. Back in diving is Moppin. Perhaps just working on that pickoff move, as that runner doesn't mean anything right now. Bohm delivers. Check swing, but it's a ball. Count is level at 1 ball and 1 strike. The stretch. And the offering. And that breaking ball. No, did it clip him? Yeah, apparently it did clip him. First and second now for Reese Metler. And Weld Central has back-to-back base runners for the first time in the game. But again, down 17-1 here in the top of the 5th inning. ACI proudly supports local high school sports throughout Northeast Colorado. The pitch, down and away with a fastball. When you need ice, don't just settle for any old frozen water. Get AC Ice. AC Ice at any local grocery or a convenience store near you. 1-0 pitch from Bohm. Swing and a miss and a fastball down in the zone. Count is level at 1-1 to the 9th place hitter, with Giovanni Garfio Portillo on deck. The stretch and the offering. Swung on in line towards right field. That's going to be a fair ball just inside the line. Rounding third is Moppin, the throw to the plate, and he's going to be in there. Now going to third, the throw, the tag, and safe! At third base is Cade Hoffman. Reese Metler to second. And it's now 17-2. On that base hit by Reese Metler. Here's Giovanni Garfio Portillo. Oh, Weld Central not giving up at this point. They're way down, but still with nobody out. Here's Garfio Portillo. Portillo in the game is 0 for 1. The pitch. Fastball, a strike. Yeah, I think that got Bohm a little bit upset. Now he's going to go to work. See if he can mow down Portillo. Wind and pitch. Fastball, a strike on the outside corner. It is 0-2. He's thrown his 2 best pitches here to the leadoff hitter for Weld Central. The wind and the offering. Swing and a miss. He got him on a bender. And there's 1 down. Yeah, Bohm didn't mess around there. Here's Brian Gutka, who's grounded out and struck out. So he's 0 for 2 in the game. Yeah, Bohm set enough after that base hit. And that's a strike. A little bit of a bender on the inner half. No balls and 1 strike. Wind and pitch. Curveball, strike 2 on the inside corner. Bohm has thrown 6 consecutive strikes. Now looking to put away Brian Gutka. Wind and pitch. Swing and a miss on his 7th consecutive pitch over the plate. And there's 2 down. Boy, that woke up Bohm. There's no question about it. Dalton Wilkinson is 0 for 2. He struck out and grounded out. He's Weld Central's final opportunity here. The offering. Fastball is a strike on the inside corner. That is 8 consecutive strikes. Thrown by Jared Bohm. Wind in the offering. Swung on and missed on a curveball. Well, I never seen a guy come out of it this quickly. Yeah, he decided that he wasn't going to let him hit it. No balls and 2 strikes. Wind and pitch. Swing and a miss. 10 consecutive strikes thrown by Bohm. And after giving up a run, he strikes out the side here in the 5th inning as the Mustangs win the game by a score of 17-2 in that inning. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 men left. Fort Morgan 17, Weld Central 2. Let's take a 3-minute break. We'll wrap it up after this on B106 and B106.com. Mustang Post-Game Show is brought to you by Buildings by Design. Knowing who you can trust to do a good job is the tough part nowadays, but when you hire Buildings by Design, you can trust you get the building you want when you want it and at the quality you deserve. Start your build project right. Start with Buildings by Design as the Mustangs win their Colorado 7 league opener, beating up the Weld Central Rebels in Fort Morgan 17-2. 17 runs, 10 hits, 1 error. 7 left on base for the Mustangs, 2 runs, 3 hits, 4 errors. They were all critical, and 4 left on base for Weld Central. The winning pitcher was Jared Bohm. He goes the distance, 5 innings, allowing just 3 hits. He walked 2 and struck out 7. The loss went to Tanner Jackson, who walked 10 and threw 136 pitches. Time of the game was a very meager 1 hour and 33 minutes. The Mustangs wasted no time, as in the bottom of the 1st inning, Jared Bohm delivered a 2-run triple for a 2-0 lead. Then T.J. Bauer scored on a wild pitch. Tony Zwedzig would cross home plate on an error. It was still 4-0 until the bottom of the 3rd when Kenny Keller scored on an error. That was preceded by a couple of more runs scored by the Mustangs as they went up 7-0. And then it was 7-1. Weld Central would score a run at the top of the 4th inning. But then the floodgates opened up in the bottom of the 4th. Tony Zwedzig with an RBI single. Chris Anderson did the same. Kyle Daniels with an RBI walk. Austin Cosman hit a sac fly that was dropped. Kenny Keller and Kyle Daniels scored on a wild pitch. Reyes Rodriguez with an RBI single. James Blackson with a bases-loaded walk. And finally, Chris Anderson with a 2-run single as the Mustangs went up by a score of 17-1. And once again, they win the game by a 17-2 count as the Mustangs move to 3-4 on the year. And when you look at Fort Morgan in this game, they had 3 hits from Reyes Rodriguez and 2 from Chris Anderson. That accounted for half of their 10 base hits. Keep in mind, you can always follow us on Twitter and Facebook at B106 as you are listening to KPRB. Brush Fort Morgan, Morgan County's B106. Mustangs are back in action on Friday in Keensburg against Weld Central. That'll start at 4 o'clock on B106 and B106.com. The Rebels dropped to 1-1 in league play and 1-2 overall. Outstanding job by our sound engineer and producer, Michaela Klimper. I'm John Beltran with a final score from Eddie Underwood Field in Fort Morgan. The Mustangs destroy Weld Central with a 10-run 4th inning, 17-2, right here on B106 and B106.com.